Hello, Immortal News family, and welcome back to our channel. In the last 24 hours, we have received the somber news of the passing of extraordinary talents, and today's episode is dedicated to honoring their memory. Before we start, we kindly ask for your support. If this video or the legacies of these remarkable individuals have touched your life, please consider giving this video a thumbs up as a sign of respect and remembrance. Thank you. Number 6. Her kindness and grace matched her screen presence. That's how her daughter, Susie Kefir, remembered her. And for anyone who ever saw the golden curls and steady eyes of Cora Sue Collins on screen, that sentence rings true. She became a household name in the 1930s and 40s, lighting up nearly 50 classic films, not just with her performances, but with a warmth that stayed with audiences long after the credits rolled. Cora Sue's roles ranged from tragic to tender, playing the younger selves of cinema's greatest women, Garbo, Colbert, and Oberon among them. Garbo herself chose her for Queen Christina. At just 6 years old, Cora Sue played a child queen and formed a touching friendship with the legendary actress. That was only the beginning. With her uncanny ability to cry on cue and portray deep emotion beyond her years, directors valued her precision and crews loved her spirit. While Shirley Temple took headlines, Cora Sue quietly built a remarkable career filled with heartfelt roles, earning the respect of Hollywood's top talents. Off-screen, she was just as impressive. A child ambassador at MGM, she boosted morale during wartime, journeyed onto live stages in a touring production of Junior Miss, and later made homes in both Paris and Los Angeles. She left film at 18, carving a peaceful life filled with family, love, and stories she graciously shared with fans and historians. Cora Sue Collins passed away peacefully at 98 from complications of a stroke. Her life touched generations, as a child star, as a mother, and as a treasured voice of Hollywood's golden memories. Film lovers around the world mourn her passing. Yet her legacy shines on through flickering reels, handwritten scripts, and the smiles of those who remember her scenes so vividly. She is survived by her children, and by a cinematic legacy that captivated hearts for nearly a century. Tributes to Cora Sue Collins. Number 5. There's a certain honesty I try to bring to every note, Andy Bey once said. That honesty, that soulful commitment to each song, defined an extraordinary artist whose voice resonated through the world of jazz for over 70 years. Andy Bey, who passed away peacefully at the age of 85, was celebrated for his deep, 4-octave baritone and his ability to reinvent the American songbook with grace and emotional depth. He could sit at a piano and turn a simple ballad into something spellbinding, something unforgettable. He was playing Boogie Woogie at 3, performing at the Apollo at 12, and headlining European tours as part of Andy and the Bey Sisters before he turned 20. Alongside his siblings Salome and Geraldine, his harmonies wowed audiences from Paris to New York. After the trio disbanded, Andy's journey only grew richer. He collaborated with jazz giants like McCoy Tyner, Horace Silver, and Thad Jones, and brought his voice to the forefront of boundary-breaking music with albums like Experience and Judgment. His artistry stretched into theater too, performing in experimental works that highlighted his versatility and fearless spirit. Though some viewed the 90s as his comeback, Andy simply saw it as continuation. Albums like Ballads, Blues and Bay, and American Song reminded the world of his mastery. A Grammy nomination and recognition from the Jazz Journalists Association proved what fans already knew: his voice still carried magic. Openly gay and living with HIV since the early 90s, Andy never let challenges quiet his voice. He remained deeply committed to wellness, reflection, and creativity. In every performance, whether in a small club or on a major stage, he connected deeply with his audience through honesty, intimacy, and that unmistakable sound. Jazz icon D.D. Bridgewater once said, "Andy sings with his soul." You feel every word, every breath. Andy Bey leaves behind a legacy of elegance, endurance, and truth in music. A true interpreter of song, he found beauty where others heard only notes and turned even silence into art. He passed from natural causes, surrounded by peace, leaving fans, friends, and fellow musicians with decades of timeless recordings to cherish and rediscover. Tributes to Andy Bey. Number 4. She never sought the spotlight. She just made every scene shine. These words, once used to describe Priscilla Pointer, echo even more deeply now, as we remember an artist whose quiet strength touched generations. Priscilla Pointer passed away peacefully at the age of 100. A long and graceful life devoted to art, family, and performance came to a close from natural causes, surrounded by love and legacy. Born in New York City, she first found her voice on stage, bringing power and presence to Broadway productions. Later, she helped launch the pioneering San Francisco Actors Workshop with her husband Jules Irving, an institution that helped reshape American theater. Stepping back from acting to raise her children, she returned in her 40s with a sincerity and depth that made her unforgettable. Audiences across generations remember her as the mother in Carrie, playing opposite her real-life daughter, Amy Irving. In films like Looking for Mr. Goodbar and The Falcon and the Snowman, she portrayed mothers, mentors, and moral anchors with quiet intensity. From Dallas to ER and Columbo to A Nightmare on Elm Street 3, Pointer made her presence matter. Authentic, composed, and deeply human. She was an actress's actress, known as much for her kindness as her craft. Her work in David Lynch's haunting Blue Velvet and the cult classic Mommy Dearest showed her range, while her recurring motherly roles brought nuance to a genre often overlooked. And through it all, she remained grounded. A generous colleague, a devoted wife to actor Robert Simons, and a constant support to her family. My mother was the definition of grace and character, recalled Amy Irving. A true actor and an even truer heart. Pointer leaves behind a legacy of performance that spans 7 decades and a spirit that uplifted every community she touched. Her work, humility, and humanity will continue to inspire artists for generations to come. She is survived by her loving family, including daughter Amy, and by thousands of fans who saw not just a character on screen, but a soul fully alive. Tributes to Priscilla Pointer, too. Number 3. Joey Archer never spoke too loudly, but his fist told stories that boxing fans will remember forever, once said a fellow fighter who shared the ring through decades of boxing. Joey Archer, the elegant and sharp-witted middleweight who outclassed opponents with finesse rather than brute force, has passed away at the age of 87. He died peacefully, surrounded by loved ones, after battling a long illness. A native of New York City, Archer carved his place in history not with flash but precision. He stepped into the professional ring at just 18 and spent over a decade crafting a record that spoke volumes. 45 wins out of 49 fights, with only 4 losses coming by narrow decisions. His most celebrated victory came in 1965 when he bested Sugar Ray Robinson in what would be Robinson's final bout. It was a textbook example of Archer's brilliance, clean, strategic, and composed. He also triumphed over other middleweight legends like Reuben Hurricane Carter and Dick Tiger. showcasing his ability to outthink and outmaneuver the best in the game. Twice he stood on the edge of boxing's biggest prize, the world middleweight crown. In 2 razor-close battles against Emil Griffith, Archer came up just short, though his performances only elevated his reputation. To many, he was a champion in all but name. After retiring, Joey remained connected to the sport he loved. He mentored rising fighters, ran successful businesses with his brother Jimmy, and found a quieter life in Florida's cattle country. His humility and intelligence shone as brightly beyond the ropes as they did inside them. He was honored with induction into the World Boxing Hall of Fame, a fitting tribute to a man who never relied on knockouts to earn respect, only grit, timing, and heart. His influence goes far beyond his wins and losses. Joey Archer represented the purest form of the sport, technical mastery, unwavering discipline, and grace both in victory and defeat. As boxing historian Bert Sugar once said, "If you'd ever want to teach a class on how to box without taking a punch, Joey Archer would be your model." Joey is survived by his family, who stood by him through every round of life. Tributes to Joey Archer. Number 2, he never lost hope, not even when things got tough. That's who Mike was, pure light, even in the darkest times. Mike Peters, beloved lead singer of The Alarm, has passed away at 66 after a courageous battle with cancer. Known for his soaring vocals and powerful stage presence, Mike was more than a rock frontman. He was a symbol of strength, resilience, and heart. Starting out in the punk scene of late 70s Wales, Mike helped shape a band that would become a cornerstone of post-punk rock. With The Alarm, he gave us unforgettable anthems like 68 Guns, Spirit of 76, and Rain in the Summertime. These songs didn't just top charts, they became soundtracks to lives, stirring a sense of passion and defiance that defined a generation. Throughout his career, Mike sold over 5 million albums, earned more than 15 UK top 40 singles, and shared stages with legends like Bob Dylan, Bono, and Neil Young. But his impact didn't stop at the microphone. Mike lived with cancer for 3 decades, facing one diagnosis after another with courage and openness. His journey inspired fans everywhere. Together with his wife Jules, he co-founded the Love Hope Strength Foundation, helping place hundreds of thousands of potential stem cell donors on worldwide registries. Even while battling illness, Mike kept creating. He climbed Mount Everest, Kilimanjaro, and Mount Fuji to perform concerts in support of cancer awareness. His final album, Forwards, came out in 2023, and another record, Transformation, is still set to be released. To many, Mike wasn't just a musician, he was a beacon, an artist who turned pain into purpose and inspired others to keep going, no matter how difficult the road. Mike Peters is survived by Jules, his constant partner in life and advocacy, and their 2 sons, Dylan and Evan. He passed peacefully, surrounded by love. His strength, his music, and his message of hope will remain in the hearts of millions. As The Alarm said in tribute, Mike is now totally free. Tributes to Mike Peters. What's trending on the internet? News 1. It's never easy to share heartbreaking news, especially about a family that has touched so many lives with their warmth and honesty. Influencer and physical therapist Lizzy Kefir, known for guiding women through health and motherhood, recently shared the loss of her 12-month-old daughter, Louise Kefir. Lily, who had just celebrated her first birthday, passed away unexpectedly on April 23rd, leaving Lizzy, her husband Matt, their daughter Mia, and their growing family devastated. Lizzy revealed in a touching message that doctors discovered a large mass on Lily's brain, a condition that had shown no symptoms and could not have been anticipated. While the family waits for more answers, Lizzy described Lily as the purest of beings, someone who filled every space with light in her 374 days of life. Support has poured in from friends, followers, and the wider community. Lizzy, currently expecting her third child, has been met with countless messages of love and heartfelt prayers. She wrote to Lily, "You're our light in this darkness, and we know God is holding you in an extra special place." As we keep the Kefir family in our thoughts, let's remember little Lily for the joy she brought, the inspiration her story provides, and the strength her family has shown. Her light shines on, reminding us all to cherish every moment and support one another through life's unexpected journeys. News 2. Remember Queen's legendary frontman Freddy Mercury? Born Farouk Bulsara, Freddy dazzled the world with his 4-octave voice, unstoppable energy, and larger-than-life stage presence. But in the late 1980s, as the AIDS crisis gripped headlines and claimed countless lives, Freddy faced his own private battle. Through it all, he chose to keep his diagnosis private, wanting to shield his loved ones and fans from the pain, and perhaps to ensure he would always be remembered for his music, not his illness. In November 1991, just one day before his passing at age 45 in his cherished Kensington home, Freddy made a brave public statement. He confirmed he was living with AIDS, saying he had kept his illness private to protect those around him, but now wanted to join others in the fight against the disease. That honesty, at a time when AIDS carried immense stigma, resonated around the globe and helped change perceptions forever. Freddie Mercury left us with unforgettable songs, but even in his final hours. News 3. Sometimes, the simplest gestures speak volumes. Danielle, a devoted cousin from a close-knit family, recently touched hearts across the internet by sharing a deeply personal moment during a difficult time. As her cousin Amanda was preparing to be removed from life support, Danielle honored her in the most loving way she knew, painting Amanda's nails a soft pink, a color that perfectly captured Amanda's girly spirit and love of all things glitter. This wasn't about appearances, it was about love. For Danielle, it was a final act of compassion, a way to show Amanda how much she mattered. The two grew up more like sisters than cousins. Their mothers were twins, and Amanda often said Danielle was like her first baby. In their childhood, painting nails together was their special ritual. Danielle cherished Amanda's silly sense of humor and her fierce loyalty, reminding everyone that Amanda's story was so much bigger than her struggles. Danielle's video of the moment quickly went viral, with people from all walks of life reaching out, sharing their own stories of love and loss. The support was overwhelming, and it showed the power of small acts to connect us all. Today, Danielle keeps Amanda's ashes in a beautiful, glittery urn, right at home with the rest of her loved ones. Through these gestures and treasured memories, Danielle believes her family is always close by. And thanks to her heartfelt tribute, Amanda's sparkle and spirit will be remembered by family, friends, and now, people everywhere. News 4. It was a night meant for fun along the Florida coast, as families and friends boarded the Clearwater Ferry after the popular Sugar Sand Festival. But in a moment that changed so many lives, a sudden collision occurred under the Clearwater Memorial Causeway, creating a scene of confusion and heartache. Officials say a 37-foot boat, operated by 62-year-old Jeffrey Knight, struck the 40-foot Clearwater Ferry, packed with passengers heading home. Tragically, 41-year-old Jose Castro of Palm Harbor lost his life, and at least 10 others were rushed to area hospitals. First responders, along with the U.S. Coast Guard, sprang into action, demonstrating incredible bravery in the darkness as they rescued passengers and delivered life-saving care. Witnesses recall the chaos and fear, but they also describe acts of kindness, passengers helping each other in the aftermath, and emergency teams working tirelessly. The driver of the boat was quickly found by authorities and cooperated with the ongoing investigation, which aims to bring answers and closure to those affected. Tonight, we remember Jose Castro and hold his family close in our thoughts. Clearwater's community spirit has shone brightly through this tragedy, with neighbors offering support and gratitude for those who rushed to help. As the city heals, the strength of its people and the memories of loved ones will continue to light the way forward. News 5. Sometimes, a story touches the hearts of people around the world and reminds us of the importance of community, support, and the tireless advocacy of families determined to make a difference. Today we remember Mackenzie Anderson, a vibrant 21-year-old mother from Mayfield, Newcastle, Australia, whose life was tragically cut short. On March 25, 2022, Mackenzie lost her life in a devastating incident, leaving behind loved ones and a young child. Her mother, Tabitha Akrit, recently spoke in court, sharing the profound fear her daughter endured in her final weeks and her heartbreaking determination to seek safety. Mackenzie's bravery and the courage she showed in reaching out for help have inspired her family to advocate for stronger protections for women facing domestic violence. As her story has come to light, her mother's words have struck a chord, reminding communities everywhere to look out for one another and to never underestimate the importance of offering support to those in need. Though Mackenzie's life was brief, her legacy shines through her family's ongoing efforts to raise awareness and promote change. Today we honor her memory by celebrating the love she brought to her family, the determination she showed in protecting herself and her child, and the hope that her story will lead to a safer tomorrow for others. If you or someone you know needs support, help is always available, because every life deserves safety, dignity, and a future filled with possibility. Number 1. There is no such thing as an ugly old man, Jane Gardam once wrote. When they cease to be handsome, they become distinguished. That same spirit, graceful, wry, and deeply observant, lived in every story she told. A master of nuance and quiet brilliance, Jane Gardam gave voice to generations of characters shaped by history, place, and memory. She passed away peacefully at the age of 96, leaving behind a literary legacy that spans more than 5 decades. Best known for her extraordinary Old Filth trilogy, Gardam achieved something rare, creating a work that resonated across time, culture, and age. Beginning that trilogy in her late 70s, she reinvigorated her career and introduced new readers to a voice both sharp and compassionate. Her phrase, "Old Filth," failed in London, try Hong Kong, captured the humor and sorrow of colonial Britain in just a few words. But her talent stretched far beyond this one series. Gardam was a 2-time winner of the Whitbread Prize. She was shortlisted for the Booker, and she was named an Officer of the Order of the British Empire for her contribution to literature. She wrote with a rare empathy, portraying the quiet struggles of everyday lives, the unspoken griefs, and the enduring strength of ordinary people. From children's books to adult fiction and short stories, her body of work reflected a love of storytelling that never wavered. Colleagues, critics, and readers praised her ability to capture human complexity with spare elegance. Fellow author Hilary Mantel once remarked, "Gardam knows exactly what she's doing, and it's always extraordinary." Born as Jean Mary Pearson in North Yorkshire, her literary journey began with a mother who filled their home with letters and stories. That foundation shaped a lifelong devotion to words. After working as a librarian, researcher, and editor, she turned fully to writing and never looked back. She is survived by her children, Timothy, Tom, and Kitty, each a part of the world she so carefully observed and celebrated. Jane Gardam died gently, surrounded by affection, and leaves behind a world of books that will outlive us all. Tributes to Jane Gardam. From the soulful streets of New Orleans came a man whose passion for music touched hearts across the globe. Paul Batiste's life was defined by melody, mentorship, and a mission to uplift others through the power of sound.